Yo, what's happening, Cowboys Nation, all my fellow Dallas Cowboys fans? This your boy, the Real McCoy, coming at you, man, with another video, man. Oh, the last, few months, I've been putting out videos, talking about regular season matchups, playoff matchups, the Packers playoff game, the matchup there, our own free agents, free agency, the draft, what players should be targeting in free agency, what players fit in the draft, trading back in the draft. I talked about all of those things, man. I know you guys probably heard about, Tony Romo's probably going to get released more so than traded. Ezekiel Elliott and the law enforcement. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, so I want to do a little video, a little bit more fun, laid back, take a little bit of pressure and the stress off this off season. This is a big off season, in my opinion. I made a video talking about that. But I want to do a quick video here. We talking about Ultimate Team. I'm talking about Madden for all you Madden fans out there. I'm talking about Mutt and all that. But Ultimate Team is some of the best players in Cowboys franchise history at their respective positions. And me being put on my GM cap, I want you guys to do the same thing as well. Put together the best team in franchise history. Now this video here is just going to be for the offensive starters. Because being a GM, you can't afford everybody, so somebody won't make the roster, So this is my ultimate Dallas Cowboys franchise team throughout the history of the franchise and some of the best players at their position. And so I'll make the video too long, so we'll jump right into it. As you guys can see here, we got the offensive line. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the guys that I picked, I'm going to show that at the end. So you got to stay tuned to the end and see who I decide to go with. But you're going to see that a few of these players are listed at multiple positions because they played multiple positions at a pretty decent high level, But we're going to start off at left tackle. You got guys like, now some of the millennials like myself, you guys may not remember, guys like Ralph Neely and Rayfield Wright and Pat Donovan, guys who played back in like the 60s and the 70s, back when, offensive linemen were less than 300 pounds, about 280 pounds. But I still put them on here because I know I respect them, good players, great players, Now there are two players on here who I felt like no matter what, they have to be in my starting offensive line. They have to be. To give you guys a little bit of a hint, that's Zach Martin and Larry Allen. Like those two have to be on my starting line somewhere. You know what I mean? So you got some of the underrated guys like Mark Tuinei who protected Troy Aikman's blind side during the 90s during their Super Bowl run. Tyron Smith, the current left tackle. Guys like that. Larry Allen, who played all across the offensive line at left tackle. Left guard, you got Lyle Collins, Nathan. I love Nathan. I'm a 90s baby. One of the best decades in the history, American history. Some people say the 80s is the best, especially if you like drillers and rock and roll. But anyway, I grew up in the 90s, so I love Nate Newton, Ron Leary, who could have been a Pro Bowl this year, that's old school. Ralph Neely, the center. Now, Andre Garrard, now Bill Parcells, when he was his tenure as a head coach, he moved Garrard to guard, and he kind of struggled. And Parcells came back and apologized. And once he put him at center, he went to 5 straight Pro Bowls, I believe, from 2006, 2010. And Andre Garrard's a good center. Our current center now, Stepnoski from the 90s. Won 2 Super Bowls with the 90s, 3 straight NFC champions. Now, Stepnoski wasn't on the 95 roster. I think in 95 he played with the Houston Oilers, I believe. Things like that. At right guard, Nate Newton, love Zach Martin, Larry Allen. At right tackle, got Doug Free. Not so much, Larry Allen, Eric Williams, Flozell Allen. I love Flozell, man. Things like that. Eric Williams. So those are some of the guys at right tackle. Who would you put, if you were a GM, putting a team together, what would your starting 5 offensive linemen be? I'm going to show you guys mine at the end, so, we'll keep it moving. Now we're looking at the receiving corps. The Cowboys had some talent. We've had some talent throughout our franchise history, man. Drew Pearson, Mr. Hail Mary himself, Dez, T.O., who should be in the Hall of Fame, Michael Irvin, Hall of Famer, Bob Hayes, Hall of Famer, things like that. It's hard. Now, some of you guys might be saying, pick T.O., Dez, and Michael Irvin as your 3 wide receivers. But I wanted to make it tough on myself as a GM, put these guys at their respective positions, and I can only pick one. You know what I mean? It's not easy being GM. So you can only pick one. You can't pay everybody. So who would you go with? You know what I mean? And you got a Bryce Butler, Patrick Creighton, Miles. I mean, some solid number 2 receivers. You got the slot receivers, Sam Hurd, Kevin Williams, Cole Beasley. All these guys bring different things to the table. The tight end. You know what I mean? I love Jay Novacek from the 90s. Jason Witten, first ballot Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? So I will break down each player, but I don't want to make the video too long. You know what I mean? Then you got the backfield. You know, we've had some talented running backs. I mean, Herschel Walker coming out of college is probably the most talented of all those running backs coming out, in my opinion, even more so than Zeke. You know what I mean? Just didn't quite work out for him in the NFL, but some talented guys. Dorsett, Rookie of the Year. Zeke, Rookie of the Year. You look at these quarterbacks, man. All these guys bring different things to the table. We've had some great quarterbacks in our history, man. That's why we've been to 8 Super Bowls, won 5. We've had some great quarterbacks in our history, man. So, but we can only pick one. So as you guys go back, if you need to rewind, go back, look at the list. Who would you start? What would your starting team be? Your starting 11, things like that. And we're gonna see mine. So let's jump right into it. And starting with the offensive line, I went with Tyron Smith at left tackle. His slide kick, his fundamentals, his technique is sound. Big hands. Once he gets his hands on you, you're blocked. That's it. You know what I mean? Left guard, Larry Allen. Arguably the strongest player in NFL history. Just, man, massive man. Brutally strong. You know what I mean? And good athlete as well. Physically strong, man. Travis Frederick at center. I thought about Stepnoski, but I just thought Stepnoski wasn't as athletic as Frederick. A little bit undersized as well, in my opinion. I like Travis Frederick, Zach Martin there, right? So I had to have Larry Allen and Zach Martin as on my offensive line somewhere, no doubt. Eric Williams. I like Eric Williams, man. Now he wasn't as fundamentally sound as Tyron Smith, but he was ferocious. He was physical. He was tough. Some try to label him as dirty back in the 90s, but he was a mean player. The guy was mean, man. Eric Williams. I got Michael Irvin. I mean, over T.O., over Dez. I think Michael Irvin is the best route runner of those 3. You know what you're gonna get, a leader. You know what I mean? Some issues there in the locker room, but I like Michael. He's gonna come through in the big game. He's gonna show up. Dez had a good playoff game, but you know you can't argue with 3 Super Bowl rings. You know what I mean? I like Miles Austin. He can go deep, intermediate possession receiver. He can catch with his hands. I like Miles Austin, man. Cole Beasley in the slot, his shiftiness, his quickness is gonna get him open on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, move the change. You know what I mean? I like Zeke. Emmitt Smith is my 3rd favorite athlete of all time. The number 1 for me is Michael Jordan. Number 2 is Floyd Mayweather Jr., the boxer, and number 3 is Emmitt Smith. He's my favorite Cowboy in franchise history. But Zeke is just explosive, complete back, can do it all. But his explosion, man, the guy is so explosive. I love Zeke. And the quarterback was the one I kept going back and forth on. I might be a little bit biased because I'm a 90s baby. I grew up in the 90s. So I grew up watching Troy Aikman win Super Bowls. But if Troy Aikman is like 1A, for me, Roger Staubach was like 1B. If you would have picked Roger the Dodger, Captain Comeback, I wouldn't argue with you. I mean, Roger Staubach, you know what I mean? Don Meredith was there from the beginning. You know, he laid the foundation at quarterback. Roger Staubach took over and led us to 4 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl wins. Danny White couldn't really get over the hump. Troy Aikman, you know, we got things like that. Now, if Dak continues to do what he's doing, I would put Dak there. I'm gonna say I might be a little bit biased with the quarterback side. Quarterback, because I grew up in the 90s and I love Troy Aikman. Then if you want to go a little bit more traditional, take a receiver off the field, you want to go a fullback, of course, Darryl Moose Johnson, no doubt. Over Klutz, over Smith, the fullback we got now. You know what I mean? But Darryl Moose Johnson. But that's my ultimate team. You know what I mean? And then if you had to pick a head coach, Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells, Jason Garrett, Barry Switzer, I'm going to go with Jimmy Johnson. You give me this offense with Jimmy Johnson as head coach, we're going to win Super Bowls. You know, we're going to score 40 points a game. You know what I mean? We're going to be unstoppable. But that offensive line, no doubt about it. We're going to be unstoppable, man. I won't make the video too long. Let me know what you guys think. Put on your GM cap. What would your starting team? Now, this is just the offense. This is just the offense, man. This is just the offense, the ultimate team for the offense. So Let me know what you guys think. You know what I mean? Agree, disagree. You know what I mean? I thought about putting Larry Allen at left tackle and Nate Newton at left guard. But I love Nate, but you know, I like Tyron Smith. I like his fundamentals and his technique. And Larry Allen. Can you imagine Larry Allen and Zach Martin as pulling guards? Man, Zeke might rush for 2,500 yards in the season, man. Set all kind of records, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, all that good stuff, Cowboys Nation. What would your team be? Let me know what you guys think, man. The video's getting long. This your boy, The Real McCoy, man. I'm out, man. Peace.